I am going to jail. I just pled guilty to 2 federal charges: wire fraud, identity theft. Actually, that would make sense because I'm kind of taking credit for somebody else's crimes. No, I'm not going to jail. Obviously, I'm an upstanding citizen. You know this. But King Bob, here's a better picture of him. If you don't know who he is, notorious leaker for like Cardi songs, Uzi songs, or maybe not even necessarily a leaker. He's just known for having unreleased music. He tweets out a lot of lyrics about like Destroy Lonely, Ken Carson, whatever, of songs that nobody's ever heard or that release way later on down the road. And then people realize, oh, he had these songs the entire time. But the way that he was able to pay for all of these songs from the people who actually hacked these artists to get the music was through cryptocurrency that he stole through wire fraud. And allegedly, at least from what the government could figure out, he stole $800,000 from his victims, wherein they're trying to make him pay restitutions to all these victims. Now, how is he gonna get $800,000 to them? Who knows? He probably spent a lot of it. He hasn't been sentenced yet, so I don't know if they're going to give an exact amount of money just yet on how much he needs to pay in restitutions, but that would suck. Maybe he'll just hack another person and do like a whole Ponzi scheme of hacking where he'll use the money from the new people he hacked to pay off the old people that he hacked. Genius. And he's getting sentenced in 75 days. So we'll find out soon how many years he's sitting in jail for not leaking music or hacking for music, but again, for SIM swapping and stealing money from people's cryptocurrency accounts. But let's get the details. Palm Coast man linked to scattered spider. I already know what would have been a way better headline for this. Ready? Florida man linked to scattered spider cybercrime. Come on, Florida man gets clicks. Anyway, 20-year-old Palm Coast man linked to a massive cyber criminal gang. Damn, he a real Crip. He a real blood gang from Jacksonville. And he pleaded guilty to charges including conspiracy and wire fraud. One of them was in Southern California. One of them was likely in a Florida case. Michael Urban, which is his real name. Here are the exact charges. Conspiracy to commit wire fraud. Essentially, that just means like you're planning on committing wire fraud. And therefore, if you do commit wire fraud, you had to plan as well, because it is also a crime to like have the intention to wire fraud even if you aren't successful in that act. And then 2 more charges of wire fraud and aggravated identity theft. And we've gone over this in previous videos, but to steal people's money, he would essentially SIM swap them, act as if they were them so that their phone company or whatever accounts he was hacking into would believe him to be the person who owns that account, and then he would wire himself cryptocurrency to an undisclosed wallet or to his own bank account, etc. And then in California, he only pled guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud. So I guess they didn't catch him successfully committing wire fraud. It's like when you try to rob a bank, maybe you didn't actually get any money from them, but you tried, and so they can still lock you up for it. And low key, they should give you less years if you actually successfully rob the bank or successfully hack somebody, because hey, it's hard to successfully do it. Am I right? I'm playing cops. Please don't arrest me. And just a little bit of review as to why he was arrested in the first place. He was accused of stealing at least $800,000 in cryptocurrency from 5 different victims between August 2022 and March 2023. So literally in less than a year, he stole almost $1 million. That's crazy. Why would anyone work a job when they can just build up the skills to hack people and get that much money, you know? People work their whole lives, like 60 years, trying to get $1 million, and most don't even get there. I don't condone this activity though. Please don't go to jail. Prosecutors said Urban and others would steal victims' personal information, arrange for the victims' cell phone numbers to be swapped to phones that Urban and the other conspirators controlled. See, there you go. That's the SIM swap. He would call the phone company. They'd ask him questions like, what's the PIN? What's your security question? What's your maiden name? Blah, blah, blah. And then they'd make them believe that that King Bob was that person. And therefore they would give him access or change the password or whatever into the accounts with a lot of money in it so that he could send that money to himself on another bank account, or he would get access to whatever apps that person had on their phone, such as like Coinbase or their emails, which have passwords and whatever to whatever accounts, right? Or reset password, such as social media, like it sends your email a reset password link. They can do that too. Once someone gets access to your phone and they SIM swap you, it's basically over. They would then use that to get control of the victim's cryptocurrency accounts by resetting passwords and confirming via text message passwords. So yeah, the SMS two-factor authentication, instead of the resetting password through email, it'll like reset or give you access through texting that phone too. The tactic is known as SIM swapping. As part of this plea agreement, Urban agreed to make restitutions to all the victims. Typically, restitution is limited to actions that a defendant pleads guilty to, but Urban waived that in his agreement. A restitution amount was not made clear during Friday's hearing. So yeah, they're basically like, we gotta figure out how he's gonna get them money, because if we give him $800,000 in restitutions to all of the victims, he's not gonna pay it off because that's nearly impossible. He's gotta do like maybe half or something like that to each victim. Urban, who according to the indictment was also known by aliases including King Bob, of reference to the Minions movie, is believed to be a member of a group called Scattered Spider. Okay, so that's what that meant in the headline. They're taking down a whole bunch of cyber criminals. Repping the gang, call it Spider, the itsy bitsy spiders. The itsy bitsy spiders. That's the gang sign for it. The group targets large companies and their contracted IT help desk. Authorities warn that Scattered Spider members have posed as company IT and or help desk staff using phone calls or SMS text messages to obtain login credentials. So they're calling them as like Verizon or something, or like the bank, to get information that only like the bank should know. But just know, if you're a customer, a company's not going to call you to ask for your personal information. And if they are, hang up instantly. Poses company IT and or help desk to direct employees to run commercial remote access tools, giving them access. Damn, they really fooling everybody out here. Pose as IT staff to convince employees to share one-time passwords used for multi-factor authentication, a common security measure. Damn, so they probably posed as like the employee's boss, like, yo, give me such and such as person's password so that I can get into their bank account. Crazy. Monetize access to victim networks in numerous ways, including extortion enabled by ransomware and data theft. Oh, Jesus Christ, it's getting complicated. I thought he was just like wiring himself money, but it's a whole business, honestly. This is a hacking business, literally. But wait, there's more. That was just the Florida case. This is now the Los Angeles or Southern California case, where he was one of 5 people charged with running a scheme that targeted companies via phishing text messages. Essentially the same thing, like sending leaked links that look like, I don't know, you're from an established company or something, and then you go to this link and it looks like a website and it asks you to log into Instagram, but then when you type it in, it doesn't really log you in, and they just got your username and password, and now they can lock you out when they reset it. Things like that. Prosecutors said the group would obtain employee login credentials, then steal non-public company data and information. Federal authorities also said the group would use the phishing messages to get access to virtual currency accounts, stealing millions of dollars in cryptocurrency. So damn, it was more than 800K too. So this group stole millions. His portion was just 800K though, man. Somebody, can I invest in a venture like this? Like, I'm trying to make that money. Damn it, it even gets into details as to how they did the phishing attacks. So it says they were doing it from at least September 2021 to April 2023. The messages often stated that the employees' accounts were about to be deactivated and provided links to phishing websites which were disguised to look legitimate. There you go. So then this group could steal the employees' login to the back end of whatever company's website, and then they can get non-public data on customer accounts probably and steal their cryptocurrency. Prosecutors said the data that would later be stolen would include confidential work products, intellectual property, and personally identifiable information such as account access credentials, names, email addresses, and telephone numbers. Then they'd probably use that to like phish them too. You get a whole network. It's like social media. You hack one person and then you get to be able to hack all of their friends. I guess that's what happens when somebody's phone gets hacked. That phone ends up like sending messages to everybody else, and it turns into like an exponential hack. if you get what I'm saying, because everybody keeps getting phished and then their friends keep getting phished. You get it. They say the group then used some of the stolen information in conjunction with other sources to access individuals' cryptocurrency accounts and steal millions of dollars. A sentencing date has not been set yet, but it's expected to take place in about 75 days. So what is that, like 2.5 months? Prior to the sentencing, the court's probation office will prepare a pre-sentencing report, which will include a calculation of the recommended sentencing range under federal sentencing guidelines. When did he get arrested? Like 2024? Found it. I was about to say it was definitely early 2024, so January 11th it looks like. So it's been over a year at this point. I would almost say, like, since this is a non-violent crime, maybe he'll do like another year or so. I don't know what like the typical range for hacking or wire fraud is for years in prison, but I feel like they might even give him time to serve, and then he'll be under probation of not to be on the dark web, and they'll just make sure the government will, I'm not sure if they'll be successful, but they'll try to make sure he doesn't do anything shady on the internet anymore. They'll follow King Bob on Twitter likely. Make sure he doesn't tweet out any Destroy Lonely lyrics. But yeah, he just might get time served and be good and have to pay back some of the restitutions to the victims, or he might just say, fuck it, I'm not paying them back because I don't have the money. Wink, wink. Meanwhile, he's got probably like offshore accounts with hella bread in it, or cryptocurrency wallets. Hey man, I'll keep your secret if you know, give me a little some of that. But with all that being said, King Bob has been arrested. Yes, I know. Please help me with bond. Y'all will group buy Playboi Carti leaks, but you won't group buy King Bob's bond. He never actually leaked any of the music, so I feel like people don't really owe him too much loyalty, because he kind of starved people because the music sounded better allegedly when nobody else could hear it but him. But yeah, I'll see y'all later. Do all them things. Like, subscribe, comment, join the Discord. I'll see y'all later. Peace.